Hello, this is Steve Cox, Performance Management Consultant, and Amanda Dunwoody, Business Development Manager from the Midwest Territory. And today we're going to walk you through the Electronic Complete Solutions Guide. The first tab of the new Enhanced Complete Solutions Guide is what we call our Needs Assessment page of the customer's current situation. This will allow you to capture all of the information that you need to know about the customer based on your needs assessment in order to be able to make a recommendation of the products and services that we offer. Page 2 will be your device selection page. This is where you'll create your proposal based off of the data plans that they need and the devices that they select. It'll also give you an opportunity to add in incremental devices and also the products and services that will enhance the customer's experience. Page 3 will be a summary page that will allow you to show your customer two different scenarios based off of data selections and or device selection that will best fit their needs. So let's walk through how we're going to use the Enhanced Complete Solutions Guide in the sales process in order to create incremental sales opportunities for ourselves. One of the first things I'll point out is that many associates want to go directly to the device selection page and start clicking on data plans and devices and starting to create a proposal before they've ever done an enhanced needs assessment and really understand the customer's true needs. So let's go to the current situation tab and let's explain how to fill this out in order to maximize their sales opportunities. Here, I always recommend our associates fill out the Complete Solutions Guide from top to bottom, left to right. So in the top-hand page, we'll enter our name as an associate. We'll enter the customer's name and their contact information. And then to move to the left, we'll want to find out how much the customer is currently paying on their current bill. So let's just estimate that they're paying $200. Here and then into the line information, you'll gather the customer's user information around their wireless users. So maybe they have dad and mom and son. Now you can enter this in a variety of different ways. You can enter phone numbers, you can enter names, or you can enter a combination of names and numbers. One of the things that I've seen that I like for our associates is they will enter the name and then the last four digits of the extension. And this makes it easy to transfer data when you're getting ready to select devices and or go and enter this information in the tops as you are transferring this data over. So here we'll gather up how much data usage they're using for each of the lines. So let's say that dad's using 2 gigs and mom's using 2 gigs and son, he's a heavy user, he likes to use 4 gigs. We also want to find out whether the customer has current device protection on their phones. This is very helpful, especially if you're looking at switchers, because we know that our switcher customers are paying a lot more than what our device protection is here. So we're going to assume this customer is a switcher for the moment, and they're spending $10.99 a month on their device protection. This is an immediate opportunity for you to show some great value on our offerings. Now we want to start gathering more information around their other connections that they may have. So if they have a home phone, a home internet usage, do they have any other mobile internet devices like a hotspot or a mobile modem? Do they have any other connected devices like tablets that they're using? Let's gather some information here from this customer. We find out that they have a home phone and they're spending $60 a month on their home phone. And let's assume they have home internet usage. This would be fit our customer needs. They're using a heavy browsing, maybe they're using it for internet, social media, things like that. And we found out they got $60 a month for their home internet usage. And we want to make a quick estimate there using our data estimator tool that we have on the OLR and find out that this customer is using about 10 gigs of data a month for their data at home. Now, as we work our way down, we want to start gathering some information about the customer. So here's where we get an opportunity to ask the customer some high-quality, open-ended questions that allow us to find out a little bit about how they like to live, work, and play. So based on our needs assessment and questions, we found out that this is a family of 4. They like to stay in touch. They like to stay in touch with family members by email, social media, and text. They have a son of 12 that may get a phone in December. All right. We find out from this customer that that Dad works at ABC Company. And we need to contact Jerry, NIS, for SMB opportunities. And then this family likes to camp and go to sporting events with their sons. Okay, so now we've found out some good information about this customer that we can use as we are getting ready to put together our proposal and recommendations for this customer. Trade-in values. So here we have 3 customers with 3 smartphones that we're potentially going to trade in their devices. So let's assume that we have $100 in trade-in value with those devices that you're going to help them to spend a little bit later. We have 3 switchers. So now we have a promotional offering in place of $150 per switcher. So we're going to have $450 that we're going to help this customer spend a little bit later on down the road. So as we review this information, we'll make sure we have everything filled out. We've worked top to bottom, left to right. And now we're ready to move on to our device selection. So we click on the arrow for device selection. As you can see, the information that we entered on the first page is being carried over to this column on the left-hand side of the page. So we have the son, the mom, the dad, the home phone, and the home internet. This is intended to help you to preload and create a proposal capturing those incremental sales opportunities. So let's start. We knew that they used about 18 gigs of data, so let's start in that ballpark. So we've got an 18 gig plan, but we also want to look at maybe spending a little bit more, and let's look at what it would cost to go to a 30 gig plan, for example. Now we want to start selecting some devices, so the son is going to get S4, mom's going to get the 6 Plus. And then dad is going to get the S6 in black. We have a home phone, home internet solutions available. They might go with the router with voice, or they might go with the home phone and a mobile solution. In this situation, let's go with the home phone and a hotspot. Now we want to select our payment options. So we're going to click installment on the phones. You could compare installment or subsidized devices for your customers. Here's what I would recommend. If you're going to compare payment options, I would select the same size of data package. If you're going to compare data plans, select the same type of payment options. And so our best options on these 2 devices is on subsidy. Now we've selected our devices, we want to start comparing scenarios. So if we hit this tab right here, apply to scenario 2, you can see it's going to copy the same devices down here right below it. So we don't have to reselect our devices again, but we do have to select our payment options. So we'll go through and select our payment options. And we're going to go over here and we're going to highlight, right-click on that, copy, come down, right-click, and paste, and we'll have all of our names aligned with our devices again. Now we've got our devices, we've got our payment options, we're going to start working our way left to right. So we want to just verify that our device costs are plugging in here look accurate. We're not showing any down payment or deposit yet because we haven't entered a credit class. We can see our activation fees, our monthly installments on our devices. Now we're going to start plugging in some accessories. So as you recall earlier, we had $550 of promotional value that we're going to help this customer with. So let's go through here and delete this for the moment. And let's plug in some more values up here. So let's plug in $200 for this device, $200 for this device, and $150 there. And let's do that again. So now we've plugged in $550 in accessories for this customer. You can see we've already preloaded our device protection. Since one of those devices is an Apple product, we've got Apple Care Plus already preloaded in there. You notice we don't have any connection charges yet, and the reason for that is because we haven't selected a scenario or a data package to apply to these devices yet. In a moment, we'll plug in our scenarios, and we're going to see those device connection charges come in. Now, that $550 in promotional value that we discovered earlier, now let's spend those $550. And so we're going to give them a one-time adjustment on those accessories for each of those lines. Now, the reason for doing this is when you get to the summary page, you don't want to give your customer sticker shock when they see $1,100 in an upfront cost. If the customer is going to be eligible for a recurring discount, let's say they were eligible for a 15% discount on the data cost, you would enter a negative $16 there. If they're selling them their data protection package for $299 a month, you would just enter $299 on one of the lines to help reflect that actual cost there. Let's say this is an $18 credit, and we're going to charge them $299 for data protection. Okay. Now we're going to go in and enter our scenarios. So let's look at scenario 1 and scenario 2. You can see that the connection charges are now being populated based off of the data package that we selected. So let's review again, just make sure that everything looks good. We've got our device costs, we've got our down payment, our deposit, our activation fees, our monthly installments. Everything's looking good. We work our way across. We've got our adjustments in here for our promotional offerings, and then we've got our recurring adjustments based off their PED discount and the data protection package here. And we've got our scenarios. Up at the top, after we've run credit, you may find out that this is actually a variable deposit customer. So you enter your variable deposit class, and you can see now that it's calculating a down payment and a deposit here. Let's keep this simple. We're going to go back and we're going to change this to an A class and just make it a little cleaner. Another tool that you have here is the promo button. So occasionally we'll have promotions like the LG G Pad that may be at a discounted price based off of a contingent offer. So if they purchase a smartphone, they get the LG G Pad for a penny. So in that case, if they purchased an eligible device, you would enter yes here, and then your LG G Pad would show up at a penny at the discounted cost. We don't have that option on here right now, but we'll cancel out of this. Other associate tools that you have available to you, you can expand your view based off the number of lines that you're working with, so you can see it adds in additional lines. You can change it to a PDF, so now you can save this page just as a PDF and save that for later use. We're going to close out of this for the moment. And you also have an early upgrade calculator. The early upgrade calculator will help you to determine when this customer is going to be eligible for their early upgrade after their 12 installment payments. So based on today's date and the customer being in the 15th billing cycle, you can see they're going to be eligible around 7/5 based on when they make their 12th payment. So we click on this, we'll go back to the ECSG, go back into our device selection. From here, we're ready to go to our summary page. Now, as you can see on the summary page, if you don't click on anything immediately, you're going to get all these NAs. Well, what you have to do is you have to go up here and click on one of these two scenarios. So now we click on scenario 1, which is our 18 gig option. We can see the customer's current situation. They were spending $353 or $4,200 a year for 3 lines of wireless service and 2 other connections using 18 gigs of data. In our proposal, we're having 18 gigs of data. Remember, we had our home phone and hotspot selected, and our price was only at $254.97 for upfront costs and $314.39 a month. Down below, you can see the devices that we selected, our 4.5 gigs of data per line. This is our device protection queue. This tells us whether the customer is going to be eligible for device protection. So currently they are protected based on their selections here. And the customer would only be responsible for the deductible on their device if anything were to happen. If for some reason we were to select no or delete the device protection, this would show the full replacement cost of the device, and it would say no in red under the device is protected. You can see here we have selected Apple Care for the Apple device, and we have $550 of accessories that are included in our proposal, which will be captured under this upfront costs column. If we look at scenario 2, the 30 gigs of data, we can now see that our cost is $407.39 in comparison to the $353. If we want to make a change or an adjustment, we can always go back to the device selection page and change data plans. So we may want to go to a 20, or maybe we want to change that to a 40. And we go back to our summary page, and we can see the comparisons here. So definitely we can see that now we can get this customer into a 20 gig plan for $324, much closer to the $353. We can also look at the 40 gig plan at $482. So depending on what this customer's home usage might be, you might want to determine which way you want to go there. We can also go back here to device selection, expand our view, and the customer was thinking about adding a line for son number 2. And so we could actually plug in a recommendation here now for an S4 for this customer's. We go over here and assign that to scenario 1. And now we can go up to our summary, go back here to scenario 1. Now we're able to add in a line for son number 2 that didn't have a line. We've got our home phone, we got our mobile hotspot, and we've given them 20 gigs of data for only $10 more than what they are currently spending. So now we've been able to build a great value package for this customer that includes their devices, their plan, their device protection, and all the accessories that they're going to need in order to protect all these devices. So let me turn it over to Amanda Dunwoody here for a moment, and she's going to walk us through some key points for SMB considerations.
Thank you so much, Steve. If we can go back to the needs assessment page, please, the current situation. What I wanted to point out here is on that workspace where we're recording where that customer works. This is a great place for us to leverage in-store prospecting. So questions we can ask here are, where do you work? Does your employer supply phones for employees or for their managers? Who would we reach out to about service, and what is their phone number? And we can record that information right here so that we have it in order to transfer to our sales now, given the opportunity. Right now, what I'd like to show you is that we're going to utilize this same information. However, we're going to assume that we did discover that this customer owned their own business, and we determined that they were an SMB customer. We want to use the SMB button, which allows us to create a professional proposal for our customer, and we fill in the blank spots as they open up with the customer's name, their address, with the city and state, and then your job title, and your store phone number, as well as the address of your location. What this does is allows us to create a cover page. You now have a cover sheet as tab 1 on your eCSG, as well as U.S. Cellular information on the back page of our eCSG. When we are ready to submit this to the customer, we have the option of printing it, and this really makes a clean, professional proposal for our customer to send with them if we were unable to close business that day, and allow us also to store in Sales Now. Before I show you the Sales Now, what I wanted to do was show you the option that we have for printing, which is under Associate Tools. We have SMB Convert to PDF or SMB Print. Right now we're going to go ahead and convert that to a PDF and save that to our computer in order to download or upload that into Sales Now for future reference. All right, so at this point we have uploaded our proposal onto our desktop so that we can now save it in Sales Now. So we're going over to Sales Now. We have entered our customer's information here. You can see ABC Company. We're going to go ahead and click on that company. And when it loads, we are going to scroll down to where it will say Attachments. And from there, we're going to look over to our right and press the New button. At that point, it lets us browse for that file. The importance of uploading our eCSGs to that customer is that it allows you to go back to see what you've proposed at a moment's notice should that customer call you to inquire about their proposal, or should another associate need to leverage that information, or your leader while you're out. This allows everyone access to that information and allows us to track where we are through the sales process. We can now choose Save and Close, and that attachment will follow this customer through our sales process in Sales Now. So again, just a great best practice when we have an SMB customer is to load that eCSG into Sales Now along with our business customer. Steve, I'll turn it back over to you at this time.
Thank you, Amanda. So everybody, this should give you a good recap of understanding how to use the enhanced eCSG throughout the sales process, how to create incremental sales for yourselves through a quality needs assessment, capturing that information on the first page of the current situation for the customer, and converting that into incremental sales.